Ohio State at Michigan. Michigan was favored by 3.5. This was a great game. This was there wasn't the fireworks that you thought it was going to be, but there was 54 points scored in this game. There were turnovers. There were a couple big plays. This was a game of margins. I thought Sharon Moore called a masterful game. I thought he called a masterful game. 3 for 3 on fourth downs. Now, granted, there were fourth and ones, but he was not afraid to punt, or he's not afraid to go for them. And then also, well, one, he iced Ohio State's kicker, which was awesome. I don't know. I've seen the statistics on that and like how it doesn't work in the NFL. It has to work in college. There were like literally
It's so
two. There were two on Saturday that I remember where people got iced. So I'll believe in the icing at the college level, and then also not calling a timeout on that 4th and 2, like when Ohio State was going to kick the field goal. He could have called a timeout and saved like 50 seconds or whatever. But I think if he called a timeout there, I think Ohio State would have probably gone for it. I think, you know, because then Ryan Day,
yeah.
it's like, okay, either we miss this field goal, right? And I don't know. I think that there was a chance that he could have gone for it in that situation, given the time on the clock. And if you miss the field goal, then you're giving Michigan the ball right there. It'd be the same thing as going for it on fourth down and not getting it. It's like, which one do you have a better chance of getting? Converting a 4th and 2 or kicking a 50 something yard field goal? So I don't know. But I thought that was
I'd
crazy.
also shout out the Donovan Edwards pass, right? The little trick play for him. Got him 34 yards when they needed it.
Yeah. Speaking of passing, Michigan only threw the ball 21 times because that's all they needed. So I know that Ohio State tied the game up right there in the fourth quarter at like 17 or third quarter. I think they tied at 17.
Mm.
But or maybe 24. A little fuzzy right now, but I thought Michigan kind of controlled the game in terms of like they held on to the ball pretty good, and defensively they made Kyle McCord make plays. So I don't know. I think this was just a great game by Michigan. Will Johnson made a great play on that interception. I don't know. Oh, was Kyle McCord bad throw? Yeah, maybe it was a bad throw, but Will Johnson made a good play, right? And then, of
It's a drive on that
course,
ball for sure.
yeah, and McCarthy was unbelievable this game. I know he only threw the ball 20 times. I thought he was unbelievable.
That's hard to do too, because when you go long periods of times without throwing a pass, it's hard to get in rhythm, right? Talk to quarterbacks, like it's hard to get in rhythm with that. And so when you have throws, it's going to be on 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. You have to make those throws, and you have to be perfect on them. And he was good. You fed him in tight windows. Colson Loveland, I love the tight ends. We saw how State get exposed a little bit right down the middle of the field at times this season, and they did that. They saw it in film. They attacked that very well. I like the Alex Orji, right? Like that little wrinkle in there in the second half. Like it was, I thought Michigan played a really good game. They responded when they had to. As soon as Ohio State had any momentum, boom, right away Michigan. Zach Zinter goes down. I hope he's all right. Obviously, it's a pretty serious injury. Hope for a speedy and full recovery for him. Boom. Next play, Blake Corum. Touchdown, crowd erupts, place goes crazy. That's the kind of thing that elite teams do, right? And like Michigan just responded. And that, like Ohio State, like they went into on the road to their rival against a team that is as comparable as them. Like these were two really good teams, and they lost. The people's going crazy about Ryan Day. They're throwing out the record against Michigan. They're throwing out the record against all this other stuff. People forget Jim Harbaugh. Like obviously, you're comparing two different things. When he got over to Michigan, it was a different program than Ohio State was when Ryan Day got it. But like, it took Jim Harbaugh a while to get over the Ohio State hump, and like
Like
that's
a
what happens. Like,
while.
and no offense, like Urban Meyer's like flaunting about his like undefeated record. Michigan was a bad program. Like Brady Hook, Michigan. You cannot be like flaunting that. Like this is an elite program right now. This is a top 5 program. Both these programs are in the country. They're playing really, really good. Coaching, talent, scheme, all of that. And they lost, right? Like Michigan was better in the margins. You had 2 interceptions for Kyle McCord, and both of them were costly. Obviously, the last one, I don't really blame him for. He was trying to make a play. He got a hit. Whatever. That happens. That first one's tough, though. The first
Yeah.
one's tough.
And you have to remember, like, also too, you got to cut like some of these quarterbacks in that COVID class, like some slack, like these coaches that are trying to evaluate kids based on their junior season. Right, a lot of kids didn't have a senior season or was cut short. It's tough to make an evaluation, and you miss on Kyle McCord a little bit there, and that's tough. But yeah, the Ryan Day,
Yeah,
we're not even going to entertain that. He's not going to get fired. He should not get fired. That's ridiculous. We're not even going to. If you want to argue with us about in the comments, you're arguing to a wall. All right. There's nothing you can say that would change our minds. All right. He's a good coach. Jim Harbaugh was 0-5 against Ohio State to start his career. He's 0-5.
yeah.
So I mean, say what you
And
want
it's not
about
like
Ryan Day. Just know that if you're saying negative things about Ryan Day, you're wrong.
also like you wanted him to fix his physicality, and Ohio State kind of went toe to toe with them, especially on the interior of the line of scrimmage. Right, like they ran the ball well. They stopped the interior run. They held them the running backs to 3.5 yards per carry.
Yeah, 2 years ago it was like Ryan Day can't hire a defensive coordinator. He hires Jim Knowles, gets it right. Jim Knowles is a great defensive coordinator. They do well in their recruiting classes there. And now it's
He
like, even
whiffed
though
on
he's
a quarterback.
yeah, and Ryan Day, by the way, this season has had moments of absolute brilliance in terms of offensive play calling. He has had those moments. He's still a good play
Oh,
caller. He's
I
still
thought
a
what
good
he.
offensive
Oh,
mind.
I thought he actually schemed up some really nice plays in this game. I think Michigan's defense is elite, and he's working with he's handicapped with a quarterback that he obviously doesn't trust to make big time throws, and he has to scheme up plays against an elite defense. I thought he did a tremendous job. I don't know your short term answer. Your long term answer is probably Aaron Nolan, but your short term answer, who knows what's going to be there? Is Kyle McCord going to take another step? What's going to happen? I don't think the transfer quarterback caliber is out there for Ohio State to be had. I don't think Will Rogers comes in and makes a huge difference than Kyle McCord does. But yeah, I don't know. I think it sucks though. This defense, Ohio State finally got the defense right. Finally got it right. This is an elite defense. But no, also at the same time, like as long as Jim Knowles is there and they recruit the way they do, I trust them to have a good defense year in, year out. So like Ohio State will get over the hump eventually. Michigan's just humming right now as a program. They are humming and they can beat anybody in the country.